Florida State, no two dorms are the same. With 18 resident halls on campus, there's a place for everyone, whether you're chilling in Wildwood, vibing in Jeannie Murphy, or tucked away in Rogers. But one hall has earned a reputation that's louder than the rest. Love it or loathe it, everyone has something to say about the infamous Salley Hall. Unfortunately for one of my friends, she was forced to live there this year, but luckily for us, she has agreed to show me around her room in this residence hall. So today, I'll be taking you on a tour of Florida State's most notorious hall to see if it really deserves that title. Let's check it out. Built in the early 1960s, Salley was constructed near other residence halls, including Rogers and McCollum. Built on the outer edges of Florida State's campus, it was meant to house the ever-increasing student population. Named after Nathaniel Moss Salley, a former dean for the School of Education, Salley Hall originally held the football team and became the first hall on campus to be co-ed. Even with this early success, unfortunately for Salley Hall, it was essentially doomed from the start. It was built during an era when architectural styles are now considered unattractive by today's standards. It's not old enough to be seen as historic or charming, but isn't new enough to be viewed as sleek or modern, leaving it awkwardly stuck in between and widely regarded as an eyesore. After many decades of continued use, it and the other aging residence halls slowly fell into a state of disrepair, ultimately becoming a major problem for the FSU administration. Something had to be done, and for two nearby dormitories, Smith Hall and Kellum Hall, well, let's just say they don't exist anymore. Salley, on the other hand, was given a second chance. In the 2000s, FSU opted to renovate the neglected building, with major upgrades taking place in the late 2010s. These included new furniture, fresh paint, mold removal, and other much-needed improvements. Yet, despite it being spared the wrecking ball and receiving modern upgrades, Salley Hall continues to carry a negative reputation within the FSU community. To this day, rumors still circulate that it'll be the next residence hall on the chopping block. But is this reputation really deserved? Let's take a closer look, starting with the room itself. This is my friend's room, and as you can tell walking in, Salley Hall is quite a different room layout than the other halls I've covered on this channel. For starters, all Salley rooms have this exact layout, so if you live here, your room will look exactly the same. Upon entering, you'll notice there's a decently sized study space, which is about 190 square feet. 4 desks that measure 3 feet 5 inches by 24 inches by 27 inches are located in this room, along with 2 outlets, meaning each person will get 2 receptacles. This study space is often cited as the best part of living in Salley, and it's easy to see why. Unlike other residence halls on campus, Salley rooms are uniquely designed with a partition layout that separates the sleeping quarters from the front study room. Furthermore, my friend also mentioned that the study area doubles as a great social space, perfect for hanging out with friends while keeping the bedroom quiet. The late 2010 renovations are especially noticeable in the study rooms, where the once dull tile floors were replaced with cozy carpeting and the walls were bright with more vibrant colors, creating a much more inviting atmosphere. That said, the study rooms isn't without its criticisms. One of the most notorious features is the exposed piping that runs through the space, a constant reminder that Salley Hall was built in a very different era. The cinder block walls add to the industrial, almost prison-like atmosphere, and the lack of windows means there's no natural light. On the far end of the room is the air conditioning, and from what I can tell works, although my friend says she rarely uses it. Moving along, you'll notice there are 2 doors labeled A and B. These are the bedrooms. You can actually lock the bedroom using your key, but I don't know how often you would use this feature. Walking in, a nearby light switch powers the one overhead light. The bedroom is slightly smaller than the study room, with the room being about 120 square feet. This means the bedroom is extremely cramped, another major critique about Salley Hall. On more than one occasion, I found myself accidentally stepping on my friend's roommate's belongings simply because the room was so small. In fact, the beds are positioned so close that theoretically you could reach over and hold hands with your roommate, but I digress. However, unlike the study room, the bedroom does offer one saving grace, a window, which at least brings in some natural light to offset the otherwise drab and industrial feel. And as you can tell from the view, Salley Hall does offer some really gorgeous views of campus. If you do decide to get the bed with the window, your roommate will get a pinch more room with this nook, which I believe is a fair trade. As such, before you move in, I would highly recommend giving some thought if you want a little more space or a view, but for me, I would choose the window. Besides the bed, each room will get a mini fridge, and it's decently sized, but you will have to share it with your roommate. Speaking of things you'll have to share, the closet space is split 50-50. The closet space you are allotted is about 30 inches long and 50 inches wide, which is slightly smaller than the closets found in Wildwood. Above the closet rod is a shelf to place items, and above that are 4 cabinets, but they are very high up. However, in tight living quarters, the cabinets are extremely valuable and could store things you don't use as often. Each roommate will also get their own drawer, and this type of wooden drawer is found in basically every other residence hall at FSU. Wrapping up, each person will get one outlet with 2 receptacles, although one receptacle will have to be used to power the fridge. Given the limited number of electrical outlets in Salley Hall rooms, bringing a power strip is highly advisable. Additionally, utilizing the space beneath the bed for storage, such as placing bins or boxes, can help maximize the limited room available. Storage space, much like electrical outlets, is at a premium in these rooms. Lastly, there is the bathroom. There isn't much in here, and it offers everything you would expect to find. Tiling floor, a modestly sized shower, a toilet, a sink, and some extra cabinets to place some toiletries. The bathroom in Salley Hall is connected directly to the main study room, and while it hasn't been renovated, it remains one of the more convenient features of the space. Unlike in other suite-style halls where shared bathrooms can lead to issues, like suite mates forgetting to unlock the connecting door, this isn't a concern in Salley since the bathroom is private to the room's occupants. While that might not seem like a major issue, I've personally dealt with forgetful suite mates, and so have my friends. But back to Salley, that just about covers it. Overall, they're quite unique. Although they come with their fair share of drawbacks, there's also several standout features that make them worth appreciating. But what else does Salley Hall offer? Well, that is another major criticism since it's pretty bare bones in terms of amenities. Each floor besides the 5th and 7th floor has a study room. To Salley's credit, these study rooms are among the better ones on campus. They're spacious, equipped with new furniture, and even include a TV. The reason the 5th and 7th floors lack study rooms is because they house the building's 2 kitchens. While the kitchens themselves are large, clean, and offer plenty of seating for eating or chatting, only having 2 kitchens in the entire building is just inexcusable. So this will be a tough pill to swallow for those that like to cook. Each floor also has a trash room. It's small and not particularly notable, but it gets the job done. As for laundry, Salley offers a pretty standard run-of-the-mill laundry room on the ground floor along with a basic ice machine. However, unlike other residence halls on campus, Salley doesn't have any vending machines, so if you're looking for a quick snack or drink, you'll have to head elsewhere, but more on that later. In the lobby, there are a few seating areas that provides a nice change of scenery if you're looking for another place to study or relax. Getting around the building, Salley has 2 elevators, though they tend to be on the slower side. It also features 2 stairwells, which are somewhat exposed in the elements and have a musty feel. However, those same stairwells offer some surprisingly scenic views of campus, making the climb at least a little more enjoyable. Now, if you might have noticed, there's a building between Salley's east and west wing. This is the Arc. This is one of only 3 arcs on campus, the other 2 being in Jeannie Murphy Hall and in DeGraff Hall. This arc is noticeable for being extremely large, so you're almost guaranteed to find a place here to study or hang out. Additionally, this renovated arc contains many amenities including whiteboards, bathrooms, a ping pong table, a pool table, as well as the Salley vending machines. But what if you want to leave Salley Hall? What is nearby? Well, Salley is literally a 30-second walk from Seminole, or as my friend calls it, Seminole Cafe. Seminole Cafe is one of 2 dining halls on campus, and there's been a hotly contested debate in the FS community on which food's better, Sewanee or Seminole. I lean towards Seminole, but my friend believes Sewanee's better, but nonetheless, they are both great places to grab a bite to eat. Right behind Salley is Westside Courts, a place to play basketball, volleyball, or pickleball. Also a quick minute walk are many of the STEM buildings with noticeable examples including the medical and psychology buildings. If you're a STEM major, Salley's location is perfect since most of your classes will be nearby. A little further away is the tennis courts and Leach Gym with a walk of about 5 and 7 minutes respectively. But that's all that's close to Salley, and because of that, its location has always been a source of contention. You'll need to walk very far to go anywhere else on campus, whether it's the Student Union, Landis Green, Westcott, or even Sewanee. So if you're a liberal arts major, your walks are probably going to be an eye-watering 15 to even 25 minutes long. And while that might not sound like a big deal, trust me, based on personal experience, you won't want to walk that walk in the brutal Tallahassee heat during the summer or spring. As such, I would highly recommend getting a bike if you live in Salley Hall. There's probably 2 reasons you clicked on this video. Either A, you're curious about what the hall looks like, or B, you're planning on living here. And if you fall into the second group, well, chances are you've already seen the TikToks, Reddit threads, and random dorm rankings calling Salley the worst place on campus. But I want to offer a bit of perspective, because even the most criticized places can have their redeeming qualities, and Salley Hall is no exception. After talking to my friend who lives there, along with a few other residents, the general feeling is that it's really not as bad as people make it out to be. Now, I'll be honest, when I first toured Salley, I wasn't impressed. In fact, I thought it was one of the worst dorms I had seen. But the more time I had spent here and the more I explored the building, the more I began to appreciate some of its unique features and quirks. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend Salley is secretly the hidden gem of FSU. It's not. But I will say that it grew on me. So if you're assigned to Salley, don't panic. Yes, it's an older building. Yes, it's lacking in amenities. The location isn't great, and the architecture definitely feels outdated. But it's not without its upsides. For example, I really like the idea of a partitioned room. It gives you a sense of separation and privacy you don't get in most traditional rooms. And not having to worry about your suite mates locking you out of the bathroom, that's a surprisingly big win. So, is Salley the worst dorm on campus? Yeah, probably. But is it an unlivable soul-crushing dungeon? Honestly, no. It's just misunderstood. Well, that's all for today's video. If you liked today's video, please like and subscribe. Thanks to my friend for letting me film her space. Are there any other places you want to see, or do you have any questions? Let me know in the comments. My name is Frederick, and thank you all so much for watching.